Hi there. With the US tour behind us and the new season fast approaching, I wanted to share some thoughts on the changing face of Manchester United Football Club. How long will it be before Ruben's Reds close the gap on the top four who've broken away at the top of the English Premier League? With Benjamin Sesko expressing his desire to join Ruben's rebuild, it looks like another huge signing for the Reds, and that'll be great news if the deal goes ahead. It's been obvious all summer United wanted a new striker on board in this window. And Sesko may not be our first choice. He's definitely still a gamble as a younger player with no Premier League experience. Manchester United is a big step up from RB Leipzig. But he's clearly got talent, and this feels like it'll be another big statement. It looks like United will end up paying around 70 million to sign Sesko. Add-ons could take that figure closer to 80 million. But it's clear the player sees his future in Manchester, not Newcastle. And that's another big step forward for Ruben Amorim as we count down to the new season. We've known for a while United needed more than a couple of fixes. And the prospect of our summer spending now topping the £200 million mark makes a mockery of Jim Ratcliffe's warning that United are on the brink of bankruptcy. This hasn't been paid for by scrapping a few free meals and cancelling sponsorship of the Old Boys charity. It has felt like a slow summer, but change is happening, and it's starting to look more like the open heart surgery Ralf Rangnick told us we needed 3 years ago. Already on board and looking good, of course, are Brian Mbomo and Matthias Cunha, while Patrick Dorgo, Aidan Heaven and Diego Leon have all arrived at the club since Erik ten Hag departed back in October last year. With Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony and Malacia all still to move on, I am optimistic we'll see even more new faces before the window shuts on September the 1st. But it's not just the new signings, whoever we end up signing. There's a cultural change being orchestrated by Ruben Amorim. And for that, I think we owe our current head coach a massive thank you. Empowered by our Director of Football, Jason Wilcox, and CEO Omar Barada, Ruben is the man who's dismantling player power at Old Trafford. And he's doing a very fine job indeed, however successful Ruben turns out to be in the long run. Whatever happens to the remaining members of the so-called bomb squad, we've already seen Rashford leave for Barcelona, of course, albeit on loan. This is about much more than comings and goings this summer. We're seeing a fundamental reset, the end of disruptive player power and the end of player FC. Ruben's Reds are playing to new rules, a new code of conduct based on discipline, unity and togetherness. Whatever happens out on the pitch, whatever formation we play, I think all fans who truly love football want Manchester United to put the toxic atmosphere that was dragging us down finally behind us. And so far, this looks like Ruben Amorim's biggest success. Whatever we think of the way the owners are running the business, and God knows they've made huge mistakes, alienating many of our loyal supporters, I do believe they made a wise decision when they gave Amorim the go-ahead to make wholesale changes. In fact, United's whole football department is going through an impressive transformation. Recruitment, players, and even the upgraded training facilities at Carrington that Cristiano Ronaldo is crying out for. The new first-team facilities at Carrington will be unveiled this Friday. I still think it was a mistake bringing Amorim in mid-season with a squad of players that didn't suit him. He was set up to fail last season and we bombed badly in Bilbao. But now he's had the summer to readjust and he's making real changes. So there has been a long-term benefit if we're now making the right choices. Hopefully Ruben learned from the mistakes he made when we crashed to our worst ever Premier League finish. And hopefully Ruben does have a plan B up his sleeve. He always said he needed a pre-season to make his system work. And the more new signings we make, the less excuses he'll have when the season gets underway. Now let's see if Ruben really can build a winning football team before he runs out of time, that is. Long-term success, of course, is what all United fans want, and that's what this football club desperately needs to avoid falling further behind our rivals. As I've previously said on this channel, Ruben Amorim needs to be a miracle worker because we've fallen so far behind all our biggest rivals, the culmination of mismanagement by the owners and poor decision making by our previous football administration. As things stand, we're well outside the big four of Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal and Chelsea. That's why United are spending big in this window. We've got no choice. Pay up or get left behind completely. It's crystal clear. Recruitment is one of the most important factors in the modern game, and clearly we're currently lower down the pecking order than we used to be when top players become available. This summer alone, we've seen Gyökeres choose Arsenal, Delap choose Chelsea, and we're not even in the conversation when it comes to Alexander Isak. Like it or not, Liverpool are streets ahead of United right now. Our biggest rivals are a superbly run football club, and don't hate me, but personally I do think they deserve their success because they're winning without being backed by state ownership. On top of that, Liverpool play entertaining football that's good for the game. I'm afraid the truth hurts, my friends, and that won't change until we make it change. I can fault United's ownership for a lot of things that I don't agree with. The alienation of legacy fans, wanting to make Old Trafford the Disneyland of football. There's a long list, but it does seem we're making progress with that open heart surgery. Make no mistake, this is a delicate operation and the stakes have never been higher. Just look at the business already done by our rivals. Chelsea, more than £240 million spent on 8 new signings. Arsenal, the biggest net spenders as things stand, at just under 200 million. While Liverpool has splashed the most cash with a massive spend of more than 250 million and counting. Even Man City has spent more than United before the Sesko deal, with 5 new signings at a cost of more than 150 million. 70 million on Sesko or thereabouts would take United's summer spending past the 200 mark. But that's only keeping pace with the top 4 who've all strengthened just as well as United, if not better. Not only does Ruben Amorim need to be a miracle worker, our recruitment has to be spot on. There's no room anymore for mistakes as we fight to bridge that gap. Logically, there's no reason to be confident about breaking back into a Champions League place this season. But never say never with Manchester United Football Club. I'm certainly not carried away by 2 wins and a draw in the US, but we did see some encouraging signs in those 3 pre-season games in America. I wasn't there this summer for reasons I won't bore you with, but even from a distance I can see that Ruben Amorim has shifted United's focus. There's an unmistakable sense of a new direction, a new team spirit that augurs well with a number of caveats. We need to be realistic with our expectations this season because the top 4 clubs, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City and Chelsea, are all starting from a higher place. Not just a higher place based on their final league position at the end of May, a higher place with managers who've all made their clubs better. A higher place because all 4 are currently more attractive destinations for most new recruits. We also have the handicap of a massive global spotlight magnified by many anti-United media voices that want to see United fail. This football club has more media attention than any football club on the planet by far. No club operates in a bigger spotlight, and that makes Ruben Amorim's job arguably the most difficult in the whole of football. Incredibly, many United fans have gifted Ruben Amorim the longest honeymoon period in football, but we all know the prophets of doom will be screaming from the rooftops if United start the new season like we finished the old one. With Arsenal, Chelsea and Man City all coming up in our first 5 games and Liverpool away on match day 8, I can already hear Amorim out campaigners warming up on the sidelines. That's why I'm torn, cautiously optimistic on the one hand, realistically concerned on the other. I am impressed that Ruben Amorim appears to be making progress by creating a unified squad, a squad that's also showing signs of understanding how he wants them to play. That's the good news. On the other hand, it's clear from the Everton match on Sunday that bad habits haven't been expelled overnight. And despite making good signings over the summer, the gap behind our biggest rivals has never been bigger. As things stand, I see Liverpool as red-hot favourites to make it back-to-back titles and reach that record-breaking 21. Realistically, I don't see how Ruben's Reds can stop them. I don't see how United can stop Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City or Chelsea from leaving us out of the top 4 again. But then again, I do cling to the hope that maybe, just maybe, Ruben is a miracle worker. As the eternal optimist, I'm hopeful that we get rid of the other players Amorim doesn't want, and we use those funds to complete Ruben's rebuild. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please watch one of these videos next if you want to support this channel.